YouTube, it's your boy Khalil back here for another video, man. And today we're gonna be doing a reaction to Gen Z is completely effed now. I don't know what I'm looking at right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm a part of Gen Z. You probably a part of Gen Z. You're gonna see what this video is going about, man. So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell if you guys are new. And let's see what's going on, man. It's always something with Gen Z, y'all. It's always something with Gen Z. Let's find out.
Okay, we gotta talk about these psycho TikTokers. Now, I used to talk about this years ago, where people would be faking mental illness and faking these disorders, basically just inventing random shit because they're bored and they feel like it and they really desperately want attention from people. So we're gonna go through a couple people that are going viral recently. Here's my little preview for the video. We got this psycho, this psycho, this psycho. We'll also be talking about the infamous nose ring theory. It's making a comeback. It's this theory where...
Yeah, see, this is why I don't be on TikTok, y'all. Okay? You know, people be like, oh, you should get on TikTok more or post on TikTok. I mean, I should, you feel me? But it's just, I don't know what be going on TikTok, y'all. Like, what y'all going on, you know? And I be having some other stuff going on, you feel me?
People with nose rings, for some unexplained reason, tend to lean towards crazy. Also, a couple more psychos who are all mentally ill in different ways, it seems. Starting with whatever this is. So you know how this new generation has the pronoun stuff, right? The he, she, they, them, the standard. But then you got some people who are like, let me cook, right? Let me cook some more. I'm not special enough. I need more attention. And yeah, you should not let them cook.
This is a video about my pronouns. I've had a lot of people ask them in lives, and I thought it would be easier to just have a video explaining my pronouns. So I use ze, them, it, its, and they, them pronouns because I like them and I think they're fun to use. How you use ze, them?
They're fun to use. I really don't. I can't really say. What is this? I'm sorry, y'all. You know, I can't. You know, this is
pronouns in a sentence would be like Z is crocheting. I'm watching their live. I'm crocheting with them. Most people know how to use it, its, and they, them pronouns in sentences. Why do I use them? I use them because I think they're fun.
Right. So we got the casual ze, them. Now, I don't know about you. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say...
Yeah. This is where I crossed the line, man. I already crossed the line with the other, you know, but you feel me? I don't like...
that in real life ever. In fact, I'm almost certain that none of you have either, unless you are in this person's neck of the woods. It really seems like this stuff is purely an online thing that they're purposely doing on TikTok. I mean, they talk about it as if they use it in real life as well, but I find that very, very hard to believe. At least, yeah, I just don't see that working. I mean, it would take so long to even explain. And how would you deal with strangers? This is something I just don't understand. Like, why would you make life difficult for yourself on purpose? I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, every time you go to the cashier at the grocery store, when they call you a she or whatever, you're gonna go and be like, well, actually, there's this thing called Zem that I have invented here.
Like, say this to me, or I'm gonna look at you like you're crazy. I'm sorry. You come up to me and be like, I don't go by this. I'm gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? I'm a corner eye you, and I'm gonna keep it pushing. Like, I don't even know what to say. I'm gonna keep it going.
I want you to use this
what you
going
talking
forward,
about.
and then they probably encounter like hundreds of people every day, so they probably can't even remember that. Also, you're saying you're doing this for fun, so you just kind of expose
For
yourself.
fun?
It doesn't
Like,
really,
what?
you know,
don't have
reflect
no
their
pepper,
identity. It's
no
just some
purpose.
random fun shit that you've completely made up. Also, to address the elephant in the room, the ticks and stuff. Now, I'm not gonna 100% say that they're
She
you
got
know faking it or
Tourette's.
anything like that. There's no real way to know unless you're them, or you know, you could technically go through all their previous videos and just expose them. But I will say, I used to talk about this stuff before, and there were a lot of people who did actually get exposed for faking this shit, and it seems like their certain quirks and stuff only pop up on video, it seems. Only pop up whenever they're doing TikToks, or only recently, and several years ago, they did not have it. So I don't know if this person is doing that, but if you are one of those people who legitimately take time out of your day to fake this shit, then you're a piece of shit, you know? People actually have to, you know, suffer through
Who is faking? Why would you fake that? Why? Why would you do that?
this type of stuff. So yeah, it's not cool. Right, so
Wow,
then they talk
okay.
about when they actually discovered this new pronoun system or whatever, or whenever they made it up or whatever. And what do you know? It was when they were 16. Interesting, right? Interesting. Nobody could have guessed.
Yeah. This is just ridiculous. It's literally ridiculous.
I discovered neo pronouns when I was 16, I think. Woohoo! And I didn't really get them at first, but I
don't think she's faking that.
I learned more about them and discovered them pronouns, which I really liked. I started using them with friends, and then woohoo, pretty bird. I eventually put them in my username. So I've been using them pronouns, pretty bird, for a couple years now. I discovered what you're doing. I discovered I didn't mind its pronouns. When I was reading through a lot of hate comments that I get, a lot of people use it to try and dehumanize you or like hate on you or whatever. But when I was going through those comments, I realized I genuinely didn't mind its pronouns, and for me, they're a vibe. So, hopefully that explains my pronouns. Woohoo!
Yeah, that explained a lot, honestly. So you were 16, you know, you're very impressionable. You probably log onto TikTok every day, you know, before even brushing your teeth or taking a shower. You just immediately got onto that app, go to the internet, and look for validation from fellow mentally ill people. And you find a way to make them affirm your crazy delusions. And the end result is you just end up looking like some sort of exotic parrot. I honestly feel bad for the parrot now. That's a really mean comparison for the parrot right there. But yeah, maybe if a parrot had a bunch of metal in it or whatever, and put on clown makeup, I guess. I really just feel bad for these people, because imagine living your life every day like this. It must be fucking exhausting. But anyways, moving on to the nose ring theory. Now, you probably heard of this before. I've also talked about it several years ago. Basically, there's an interesting correlation that a lot of these psychos online who are clearly mentally ill seem to have nose rings. Now, obviously, you can wear nose rings and be perfectly normal,
Actually, I did hear about the nose ring theory. Like, I did think I'm not going to say those, but probably he's going to say it, but I did
chill
hear about
and
it,
cool person. But some people out here are ruining it for everyone, it seems. If you do happen to wear a nose
crazy
ring, just know that you might be judged adversely on the internet now.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who do wear nose rings who are completely insane. And yeah, I don't know, there's some sort of correlation.
I knew it. When you wear like rings and stuff like that, you're just going to be just labeled crazy for real. Like, you can't even wear. I'm not gonna cap. I get it, but man, I don't know what the fuck is going on
here. So it doesn't always have to be the case, but yeah. So this guy went viral calling it out.
Septum theory this, septum theory that.
What the fuck?
You guys are just jealous that I am swag, awesome, gay.
Septum theory. I've seen this phrase getting kicked around a lot. Basically, see someone with a septum ring, they're most likely going to be fucking mentally ill or just straight up retarded.
Just
angry, deranged, Starbucks drinking lunatics, mate. Oh, but Jack, that's pretty judgmental. No, it's not. It's just true.
If you're throwing around the R slur, full-fledged Nazi. Full stop.
That's interesting. I don't understand why people got that on their face, mate. You know that's for cattle, right? So they can put the
I
rope
know,
through the
they
fucking
are
nose and
really,
drag
like,
you around.
crazy.
Right, listen,
I
I don't
don't-
want to be that guy, but how do
But
you go
what is
out
going on?
looking like this? You are a straight up clown. In fact, a clown probably has less shit on their face if we were to do a one-to-one comparison, I feel like.
I
And
just
look
don't
at that
understand.
absolute conch shell in her nose.
I don't understand this. I don't understand. I don't even want this explained to me, but I don't understand.
Bruh. Dude, at that point, I feel like you're operating at 30% capacity. There's not enough oxygen that is even flowing to your
Oh
brain.
my
Maybe
freaking goodness.
that's what actually makes you mentally ill. It's just a lack of oxygen. I feel like that would make anyone ill, you know, physically. Now, one of the previous times we talked about one of these specimens, they were complaining about not getting hired at like a TJ Maxx or something. Basically,
Makes
they're
sense.
complaining about getting fired for their self-expression.
Look what she got. She got the Baphomet on her. She got a 6-point star on top of the head, man. Yeah, or a 5-point star. I'm talking about 6. I'm tripping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5-point star. She got some stuff going on her, man. Of course you ain't gonna get hired out TJ Maxx. What the fuck? She got these symbols, man. Oh, no.
And it was this lady with a shit ton of tattoos and like a tattoo of like a demon or something. And the reality is, if you show up looking like this to a job interview, you're not exactly a people's person, all right? You're not exactly going to be perceived
How are you gonna
as
get a
someone
job?
who is, you know,
You might as well just be a
welcoming,
tattoo
cool.
artist.
You know, if there's a bunch of kids going to the store to get some clothes, or you know, kids with their parents getting some groceries or some toys. If they see this fucking devil, you know, at the counter, they're gonna be a bit put off. You know, they're gonna be like, "Mommy, what the fuck is that?"
What the
So
fuck?
yeah, back to this person here. You know, I feel like just without all that shit on your face, you would look pretty decent. But it's like, why? Why do you do this to yourself? I just don't understand.
These
It feels like
SpongeBob
such a-
faces
such
is
a
killing me.
cry for help, a cry for attention, you know? Also, I'm like an anime guy, right? And I think the closest thing we have in real life to like aura or chakra is like our breathing. And if you somewhat inhibit your breathing even slightly, you're basically nerfing your power level, right? Even in the gym, if you lift or whatever, you'll notice that if you take like a deep breath before your set and you know you really get ready for it, then you have way more strength on it, right? It's because like you got all that oxygen filling up. I don't know the exact logic there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also those breathing techniques like Wim Hof or whatever, where you can like supercharge your body to survive in like extreme cold temperatures where it normally may not. So legitimately,
Yeah,
like
chakra,
breathing is
yeah.
an actual superpower. So when you inhibit that, you know, you're kind of just cucking yourself. Now, if you have like a tiny small nose ring or whatever, okay, fair enough. But if you have a walrus tusk in there, I mean, come on, you're just like you're giving yourself a cold. You know, well, you know when you're ill, you have a cold and you just can't breathe enough, and it's so annoying.
Bro,
Especially when you're
SpongeBob
trying to
is so
sleep and you're
fucking
like
funny.
always, you know, making that noise to, you know, clear their mucus and shit like that. That's basically what's going on here, and you're doing it on purpose. I can't, bruh. Right, so
Like,
then
I
she
just
calls
don't
it like really
understand,
stupid,
man.
and it says that we
I just don't understand this, bruh. And you know, you feel me? Like, I see this and I just keep it pushing, bruh. I don't say nothing at all. You know, I don't judge. But what is this for though? Like, what is this to cater for? I don't get it. That's
should
all I'm
not be
saying.
talking
I
about
don't.
this, even though this is TikTok and
What is-
literally you talk about the most nonsensical, unimportant
This is why I
shit
don't
all
be
the
on
time.
TikTok.
But for real, this septum theory shit is so fucking stupid. Like, sincerely, like, where are we? There are so many more important things to talk about here on this fucking app right now. Like, if you're commenting septum theory under my posts, I'm blocking you.
How can you make fun of me without talking about the political
Oh
and
my
economic state of the world
God.
right now? How can you criticize me when there's a genocide going on right out of the Hassan Piker playbook
Holy
right
moly.
here? The Hassan Orbiter playbook. Listen, you put yourself online to get clowned on, looking like a clown, People are gonna call you a clown. It looks like a clown. It quacks like a clown. It's gotta be a clown. Also, it's really not that deep. People aren't making like a comment on your like intrinsic worth or anything like that. They're just saying, hey, this looks stupid. And a lot of people who look like this give off the vibes that they're mentally ill and they have deep trauma.
Bro, what do you have? A paper clip in his ear? Does he have a paper clip in his ear? What is this? I don't know.
Give off the vibes that they're mentally ill and they have deep trauma and problems, right? And not gonna lie, you know, all these years, the theory, you know, the nose ring theory is quite accurate. I feel like, at least online. You know, in real life, you might encounter people that are more normal, but that's just in general. And in real life, there's more normal people than people that are online, because people online are desperately trying to get attention, trying to get validation, trying to go viral, trying to get clout on TikTok or whatever platform. There's plenty of decent people with nose rings, of course. It doesn't mean like you put it on, you're automatically insane. That obviously doesn't make any sense.
I don't think that's the case. It's people like this right here, okay, that just takes the cake with this septum ring theory or the ring theory in general. It's people like this right here, okay? All right, these people take the ultimate cake, all right? Just by their appearance, because this is just not no regular ish. You don't see people just wearing stuff like this just down the block, you feel me? You don't just walk down the street and just see stuff like this, and this is how I know, like, something going on with you, you know what I'm saying? That's all I got to say.
Although there is something coming up that might indicate that. We'll see. But anyways, as this trend started to get viral, a bunch of people got really butthurt about it. There was this one guy who basically said that anyone who doesn't like nose rings is a pedo.
Septum ring theory is when you are visibly older than 18 and conservatives get sad you are no longer a minor. If you have visible tattoos or facial piercings, it is immediately recognizable that you are of age. And that makes
what? This is why I don't be on TikTok. This is why I be scared. I go on my TikTok, you know, I see the most retarded stuff. I either see somebody exposing themselves about work, I be seeing some girls saying the most craziest things, or I run into some ish like this. I have no business being on TikTok. I'm sorry. I will keep the app though. You know what I'm saying? It is some funny people on there I love to watch and love to see, but this right here, man, nah. We ain't going for it, yeah.
Because they can no longer roleplay with you in the position of the depravity in their sick fucking minds.
Okay, what the fuck? Where did that even come from? What are you even talking about? Also,
I have no idea.
Think this is just conservatives. It's like even liberals can see a whack job psycho and go, yeah, that's a whack job psycho. I know what.
I think liberals have a hard time with this too, because liberals look like this.
What's going on? This
they
has
look like
be a
this.
Hassan fan. It's a classic. I mean, come on. Randomly calling someone a PDF file that you disagree with. That's right out of the playbook. That's on chapter 2. Chapter 2 of Hassanetics right there. Also, nobody minds the tattoos either. But you know, if you have a giant demon tattoo of a monster on your face, yeah, people are likely gonna judge you. Like, you can't have a giant sign on your head that says, hey, look at me and judge me, which is essentially what a nose ring and a tattoo is, and then be like, oh, I'm mad that people are judging me. Like, of course they are. You're making a statement. It's not even just nose rings or tattoos. It's like with anything. Your clothes. If you wear some wacky clothes, people are gonna judge you, you know? Or if you have colored hair or whatever. Anything that's different from the norm, people are gonna judge you.
You're gonna get judged.
Way, sometimes in a bad way. And the problem with
for
people
real. Like, I even get judged for this, gang. I get judged for this. I get judged for even my hair looking like this at times. I know it's not as crazy as what these people got, but if I get judged for this, man, you for surely gonna get judged for this. For any of these things. I'm just saying though.
Is you're literally proving the theory right. Like when you react like this and when you call everyone that doesn't like something, which is a preference, a pedo, then you're just affirming that you're mentally ill. You're just affirming that you're a complete psycho, crazy nut job, of course. Moving on to this girl going viral. Apparently, she can't find a man. TikTok girl number 7,000 who can't find a man. And
Nah, for
decides the
real.
best thing is to post about it online to try and get sympathy. And lo and behold, she thinks that everybody else is the problem but cannot find any problem in herself. She says, I'm gonna be alone for the rest of my life. Interesting.
Can't take no type of
Imagine being able
accountability.
to build an app with your name
Oh,
on
no.
it just by thinking about it.
You gotta
Meet
all
Base
be saying the
44.
same stuff.
So I'm 24 years old, and I've been trying my hand at dating men specifically for probably about 5-6 years now, in a serious way. I'm single at the moment. My boyfriend and I just broke up recently, and I have probably dated about like 4 to 5 men, seriously. Keep running into the same issues every single time I date a man, and I've been trying to like really get to the root of what it is. And now I know what you're thinking. You probably have a type. I do not have a type. These men don't know each other. They're not friends. They're not from the same area. They don't look alike. I really do not have a type. The only thing that these men have in common is that they are men. I really have been reflecting a lot and trying to figure out what like the root of all these issues is.
Okay, how do I put this? So, if we do some quick maths there's only one common denominator in all these failed relationships, and that is you, right?
That is you.
So, definitely
Uh,
look into that. But
Listen, gang.
also,
You got
know, I'm just
over
gonna be
3 or
fair
so
here.
failed
It's fine to
relationships.
have
It's something
failed
wrong with you.
relationships. You just move on, you know? Now, failed relationships for 5-6 years in a row with several different
something-
people.
something wrong. We gotta make a
that might be
change.
indicative of another problem there, especially if you're actively looking, as you're saying, right? But the fact of the matter is, you're not gonna get along with everyone. You just need to find one person. That's the whole point, you know? You gotta find that one person. At least I hope that's the goal. I don't know what the fuck people want these days, all right? More than one, or whatever the hell they're doing nowadays, God knows. We got people like iDubbbz and Destiny spreading their little cuck mentality, the Sneakos of the world. You never
my
know what's going on
God.
these days. But yeah, whenever you have a
Crazy
constant
people.
series of failures like this, you gotta look inside, you know? You gotta know that, hey, am I the one, you know, who has a problem? Am I the one picking bad men here? I feel like if you're dedicatedly looking for so many years, you should probably find someone who you at least deem as good. Like, at least one of those relationships, maybe it didn't work out, but maybe you like the guy. Maybe the guy was
Yeah.
actually nice. But apparently, these are all bad men. And apparently, she's been in relationships for like 5-6 years or whatever.
No
Like,
accountability
I
or
assume
nothing.
It takes you an entire year to determine this person sucks. Like, I just don't understand. Anyways, she continues and blames everybody else but her. The
But
classic
herself.
TikToker strategy.
Now, don't get me
Classic.
wrong, I'm not perfect, but I'm not the reason that any of these relationships ended. One of the main issues that I've come to recognize is that I don't think men are really socialized to know what it means to truly love someone, like love their partner and care for their partner. Obviously, I'm not saying this is all men, but I think it's just not normalized for
Or the
them
ones you pick.
to like, I don't know, just like, I guess I don't know how to phrase it. What I'm saying, for example, is that every single one of these men individually has looked me in my eyes and told me that I am the love of their life, I'm the most important person in their life, that they would take a bullet for me, and every single one of them
They
has
lied.
treated me horribly, okay?
Right,
Just
so
want
these
the
guys
box.
are lying to you. I mean, guys will say a lot of shit to get you to like them or to sleep with them or
Obviously.
whatever. But if they're lying, it is your job to realize that and not believe their words. You know, maybe you can fall
Yeah.
for the first lie,
Yeah.
but what about the next lies, right? You're being like, okay, this person's a liar. I should not trust them, you know? And I always say, you gotta look at their actions, right? If they treat you horribly, they obviously don't like you, and you should move on quickly.
That's
Yet,
your
you
fault.
seem to be the type of person to be in relationships for years with these guys and then just keep complaining. So apparently men are the problem, but also I pick people who lie to me and treat me bad. Like, listen, I'm not saying it's impossible to be
Accountability.
manipulated. Of course, you know, sure, you might feel in love. Maybe you're blinded. But 4 or 5 times, come on.
4 or
At that
5
point,
times.
it's gotta be you, all right? If
Come on.
if the same thing happens again and again, that's just you not deciding to make any changes, right? Also, for the love of God, somebody explain this to me. What does crying on TikTok even do, honestly? What does it do except
brings
feed
white
your own
knights.
ego? I will never understand this. Like, what would compel someone to do this? I feel like if a guy did this and went like, "Wah, I suck, I suck," and then started crying
Everyone
on
would make
TikTok,
fun of
everyone
that,
would just
man.
be clowning the fuck out of him, as they are her, to be fair. Right, then she continues and says how awesome she actually is. Definitely a sign when somebody needs to tell you how good they are.
When you write, your tone influences how readers respond.
God.
With Grammarly, just highlight your text and type how you want to sound.
I don't know about you, but when I tell somebody they're the love of my life and that they're the person I care about the most, I show it. I'm treating them accordingly. Part of it that really trips me up is that they believe it. They actually believe in their heart that I'm the love of their life and I'm the person they care about the most. I start calling it out. I would be like, you do not love me and you do not care about me. Like, point blank period. Otherwise you wouldn't be treating me badly. And they will argue and they get genuinely offended. They get offended. I honestly pity them because I don't think they're socialized to know what that means. And I don't know how to get it across in a meaningful way to them.
Yes, I pity the guys. They are not socialized, the little, undomesticated animals right here. Here's my question. Why do you even need to get across your argument? Just leave. Go to the next guy. You're telling me you're in a year-long debate here, telling this guy, hey, you don't actually love me, and I'll totally prove it to you that you don't treat me well. Okay, I mean, sure, you're right. Then just leave instead of arguing about it. Leave and go find someone who actually does love you. Why bother arguing with someone who doesn't even listen or understand you? Dude, I swear to God, every problem in this world would be solved if people just had a shred of common sense. Holy shit. It's like, these people don't know how to navigate the simplest of problems. This is the type of person to search something in TikTok before she Googles it, You just know it's that type of fucking idiot. TikTok has the answers, guys. The answers to my love life will be in the TikTok comment section, of course. And you know what ends up happening is that TikTok is also filled with these very bitter, hurt women, and they're in the comments, and they will basically reaffirm this person's opinions. And then they will just end up, hating all men, essentially. And they'll go their entire lives thinking, I've done nothing wrong, I'm so nice, everyone else I encounter is just horrible. And it's just not healthy. It's just not healthy. You need a little dose of reality here. Then she does us the kind favor of explaining what love actually is. Yes, she does. She definitely knows.
They just don't listen. And I'll be like, okay, you wouldn't have done this bad thing to me if you actually loved me in the way that you say you do. That is not what love is. That's not what love is. When you love someone, you don't do things to intentionally or even unintentionally hurt them. Why is that considered love to you? I'm just I don't know where it's coming from. I honestly pity them because that has to be awful, but I can't handle it anymore.
Kowalski analysis. Fellas, we have a nose ring. Nose ring detected. Opinion rejected. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, of course. Listen, I know at least one person with a nose ring who's great, so therefore this theory is false, guys, totally. My advice is that I think you'd have a better time in love if you spend some time evaluating your own flaws, bettering yourself, probably not venting on TikTok. Now, it is possible, theoretically, that every guy she met is horrible. It is also possible that she met tons of good guys, but specifically picked the horrible ones. So maybe she likes horrible guys and wants them to love her, which is not possible, it seems. So plenty of possibilities here, but, probably put down the phone for a second, think about what it is that you truly want. If you're okay with being treated badly, which seems like this person is, now they're not, but it seems like they were for several years, then that's just what you're gonna get, You get what you can sort of tolerate, right? And eventually you gotta stand up for yourself, not take any bullshit. If someone is lying to you, you should be ready to leave. But you're barely ready for social media, to be honest, so I don't know, good luck. Anyways, we got more butthurt people over the nose ring meme.
So when you see a man comment septum ring theory on a woman's video, what that means is that he is letting you know that he can fit it through a septum ring.
Bro, she got like a Naruto ninja star in there. She got like a saw blade or something.
I ain't gonna lie, we gonna end this video because I love the video. It's these people in the video, okay? They are not making no sense. I'm gonna hear them out a little bit more. But please, Gen Z, we gotta get y'all gotta get y'all ish together,
I don't think
man.
that's what anyone has ever thought.
I don't know
Maybe that
what
one
the hell
freaky dude
she's
calling
talking
everybody
about.
pedos, he might have thought of that. Also, to be fair, some of these nose rings are absolutely gigantic, so I don't know, man, it might be a compliment.
There's something hanging from her chin. What is hanging from her chin? What is this on her chin? What? Oh, this is going on with you people, bro. Y'all really hurting my brain. I'm about to go to bed, man. We need to hurry. We need to pack this up, land the plane. Cause
Move
what
on.
is
It's
what is
just a
these
little
people
funny
talking
thing.
about?
Now, there's actually a lot of nuance to the nose ring theory because here's
I love the
another
video,
girl
though.
talking about it, and notice
Love the
how
video,
she
for
actually
sure,
has the
for
smallest
sure.
nose ring out of all of them, right? Barely even visible, and somehow she's the only one that's not offended by this.
From what I'm gathering over TikTok, the septum theory is like not taking into consideration any opinion that comes from somebody with a septum ring because like they're usually crazy or have some like crazy trauma that caused them to get the septum ring. My old school Italian mom just wouldn't let me put a hole in my face, so like this was the alternative. I mean, like, props though. Like I wouldn't take anything I say seriously.
The only ones that get offended by it is the ones that really got something going on. They're like, man, if you just got a septum ring, a regular little septum ring, you're not really offended by the septum ring theory, then you cool, man. You good. It just seemed like these people, man, got some problems. All right. Yeah.
Either so, I agree.
W mom literally saved your
W.
ass there, and this is what I'm talking about, all right? It's the lack of good parenting that's actually cooking these kids. You know, I'm not going to absolve them of all responsibility, but a lot of these mentally ill freaks have parents that were equally mentally ill, and essentially they're the ones who raised them like this. Or they were just not present in their lives, right? And they were raised by social
And
media.
they're just
But
raised by
also,
social
look
media.
at this girl. That is maximum oxygen flow. Her breathing is barely blocked.
Oh my gosh.
Therefore, her brain actually functions properly, and therefore she's the least offended out of everybody, and she can actually take a joke.
And she got the smallest septum ring. She got the smallest one. She got the smallest septum ring, right? Oh, hold up. This girl got a small one too. Okay. Alright, never mind. I was about to say.
Who would have thought, guys? Maybe there needs to be a book written about this, about like the size of the nose ring. I feel like the bigger
the
nose ring, the
tongue
more
shit.
crazy you are. I think.
Man, I don't know what's going on with this lady, man. She got like something pinching her chin and her throat and shit. She got a fucking handcuffs in her nose, man. She got some other shit going on, bro. She even freaky
I
as
think
hell.
that
man.
everybody would agree with, right? The bigger and the thicker it is, like, because it can be big but really tiny as well. But that just looks weird. But if it's big and thick, then it's blocking your breathing. That's just,
Okay,
By the
alright.
way,
I'm
who
done
even
with this
thought
video,
of nose
bro.
rings in the first place? What kind of psycho is like, yeah, let me just fucking pierce my nose, dog? I mean, to be honest, nose rings are quite tame, like compared to like tongue rings or whatever the fuck people do. Like, bruh, I don't know what people
I don't
are
know
doing.
tongue
I
rings
never like
either.
understand that. Like, if it's for fashion, why is it in your mouth and why is it like hidden? Also, it's affecting like how you're eating now. Like, that's just ridiculous. Also, some people have like eye rings or something. Nah, bro, I can't. Now, this next girl apparently got BPD from a nose ring.
Septum piercing theory, septum. Bro, I didn't get the septum because I'm mentally ill. After I got this piercing, I became mentally ill. I'm gonna put kind of a trigger warning on this video, low-key, because it's kind of a hard thing to talk about. But after you get these piercings, so the way they pierce it, it goes through a certain nerve, which hits the exact same nerve that synapses in your brain to your emotion.
Is that
and
real?
this nerve will give you BPD if you hit it. So after I got this piercing, I got BPD, and I haven't been the same since. I started dyeing my hair black, I started being emo. Don't get a septum piercing unless you want this to happen to you. This isn't a joke anymore.
Okay, come on. She's gotta be trolling at this point, but I cannot tell anymore. But that's an interesting theory. So it's not mentally ill people that get nose rings. It's nose rings that cause the mental illness. Fascinating, truly. I think I'm more likely to believe the latter because of the whole oxygen theory.
You know what? I want to put it to the test real quick. higher prevalence of certain psychological traits and mental health issues. This correlation does not mean the piercings is the cause. Instead, it suggests that people with existing mental health challenges may be more likely to seek body modifications and complex reasons.
Very
That's
right.
about
Less
right.
oxygen, less brain power, more in mental illness. Makes sense to me. But anyways, whatever that was, a good warning. Somebody probably benefited from that. Anyways, moving on to this grandma here.
Okay, this hear her
Imagine
out. That's the
bringing your
last
side
person I'm
project to
getting
life
off, bro. 'Cause
just by thinking about it. Meet
these
Base
people
44,
are
a
they are
complete
hurting
AI
my brain. Okay?
Septum ring theory? I'm gonna need you MAGA its to explain to me exactly what you mean by septum ring theory. Because you commented over and over on every single one of my videos. People just don't appreciate the beauty of piercings, and you're afraid of them, and you're intimidated by
Oh
them.
my
So then
God.
you use them to try to offend me. But what you don't understand is I don't get offended by that. I love being unique. I love being different. I love disassociating myself from you.
Is she trolling? Is she trolling?
MAGAs in any way possible. So I don't know what septum ring theory means other than you're just afraid and fearful of anyone who's different than you.
Okay, I got a ton of flags here. First off,
I
this is
don't
a grandma.
understand
All right, this ain't a Gen
what's
Zer,
going
so
on.
I feel like this is more likely to be satire. I mean, it genuinely seems like legendary satire here. Because honestly, what the fuck is that in your nose? What the hell is it you
I
even
don't
got
understand,
there? You got a
bro.
clipper on your neck. You even got some shit on your mouth. Like, how do you eat with that? That is
This is it for the video, man. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you gotta like, share, subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell if you guys are new. Let me know down in the comments if you really feel like Gen Z has a mental health problem, okay? Because I don't know what's going on with Gen Z right now. You feel me? But this is going to do for the video. Shout out to More Pegasus. Shout out to you, gang. I love your video. You feel me? But it's your boy Khalil. And I'm out, man. Peace. I heard in my damn brain.